Well, summer has finally ended, and with it I have both literally hundreds of hours of gameplay footage to sift through, and also multiple scripts that I want to complete for future videos. Despite all of that, I realized I really wanted to make something short in the meantime, and so I turned to one of the shortest things in the video game industry, the trailers. Even though for many video games you're expected to put in dozens if not hundreds of hours, video game trailers are expected to shorten everything you need to know into minutes of footage. For some people these are merely an advertisement, and even though they definitely are, for me they're more than that. For me, many video game trailers show off the intricacies and the themes that games have. And yeah, they're also supposed to excite you and make you want to buy it. I can think of so many video game trailers that do this wonderfully, but nonetheless, there's always one I turn to when I think of my favorite video game trailer of all time. And because it's pretty short, I guess I'll show you guys the whole thing right here.
Hey, Slick, it's me! I'm a Darwinist, brother, alright? Some prosper. Enjoy the picture, everyone! And some struggle.
I thought you said you wasn't gonna hit me.
We had a deal! We had paperwork! My daddy was not nice to me! Life is just one long mystery. Ooh!
Grand Theft Auto 5. Coming November 18th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Rated M for mature.
First of all, I want to mention that it's just a coincidence that I make 2 videos in a row on a game published by Rockstar. Also, to those of you who are already typing an angry comment about how a different trailer is so much better than this one, well, it probably is. I just personally like this one. And please, hear me out on why. Okay, so there were so many different trailers made for GTA 5, and this one in particular is the launch trailer, meaning you have to scroll pretty far to find it. The way trailers usually work is there's a first look trailer for the first time the studio can show off stuff about their game. Even though teaser trailers are very prevalent nowadays, those are not really even trailers, they're more just confirmations that a game is coming. The first trailer has the most heavy-duty job of showing off the majority of what the game is about, from the story, the gameplay, and most importantly the theme and setting. Next, you'll get a bunch of follow-up and main trailers which do the job of building excitement. The trailer I just showed was a launch trailer, which means I'm pretty sure it released right before or during the launch of the game itself. Because of that, I think they had a lot more to work with, because they could show off a lot more of the detailed parts of the game without worrying about ruining the initial fun. And also, they don't have to set up the world as much because there were already a few initial trailers. I'm describing this all to you right now because I think the very first initial trailer for GTA 5 is actually being really close to as good as the one I showed first. For instance, the very first GTA 5 trailer, not the one that I showed initially, starts off with this line by Michael.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather.
And then as the rest of the trailer plays, he continues his sweet monologue. Now, even though I think this trailer is really good, the reason why I don't think it's as good as the trailer that I showed off first is because it sort of has an obligation to show off the game world. You see, this is the very first look at GTA 5, meaning people needed to see the world. There's so many small little details and things that they really wanted to show off, and because of that, they neglected a few parts of the game that they showed off in the later trailers. For instance, Rockstar has always been very good with their satirical representation of America in their GTA franchise. Recently, while playing around with the classic PS2 trilogy, I noticed how there's definitely always been this sort of aspect of satire, but it never really reached the full potential that GTA 5 did. You see, GTA 5 is making a serious critique on American society and consumerism, but some of the older titles felt like they were just using the satire for fun jokes and a backdrop for their action movie stories. Okay, so talking about this just makes me want to devote a whole 30-minute video on the satire in GTA 5, and even though it is my favorite satire in any media ever created, let's get back to the trailer itself. Okay, so my favorite GTA trailer, the one that I showed off first, sets up the satire by playing into how you'll be cheating the American system. You're shown the Darwinist perspective, as those who are the smartest will go to the top and become rich or movie stars. Yet later in the trailer, you're shown those exact same people being pushed down by their corrupt doings. Before we get into the very nitty-gritty though, let's talk about something shown throughout the entire trailer: the music. The song in the background of the trailer is Let's Go All The Way by Sly Fox. It represents so many things in the context of the game, but the message of the song itself already shows so many things that the developers are trying to display. The song displays signs of disillusionment with late 20th century politics. There's critiques of the human condition and capitalism, and overall it's pointing the listener into breaking free and achieving their goals. If this doesn't scream GTA 5, I don't know what does. Not to mention, the song has a very distinct 80s rock feel. This does a great job at showing off how the two main characters, Michael and Trevor, both are insanely connected by their early lives. Even though the prologue of the game isn't really that far back in the 80s, I'm pretty sure it's in the early 2000s. So Michael has a great appreciation of 80s-esque media, and it almost makes you feel that the corruption in Los Santos in this point of time is a continuation of the corruption that happened in the 80s. Lastly, I just want to say that this song is just amazing and fits the game perfectly. It's a great trailer song because it builds up a lot of hype. Now let's talk about the trailer itself. Devin Weston is the main voice at the start of the trailer. Remember, he says this.
Hey, Slick, it's me! I'm a Darwinist, brother, all right? Some prosper. Enjoy the picture, everyone! And some struggle.
This is a segment of one of the in-game speeches he gives. Overlaid on top of it is footage of the game world. And connected to the dialogue, there's depictions of the big rich parts of Los Santos, and also depictions of the poorer communities to the north. Playing off of the poor side, we see Trevor, who is the character embodiment of the craziness and honestly sadness of those poorer areas. Then, the trailer cuts to the richer parts of the game. It reminds you of how all of this is sort of fake and built on top of the broken real world. The richer parts of the city somehow feel plastic underneath. This, of course, is a great representation of Michael, who is literally so fake he is in witness protection, a completely fake identity. And then, of course, the later parts of the trailer just shows off the guns, cars, and helicopters, all of the luxury that you can take advantage of in the game itself. In terms of representation, so much is shown, yet so much is up to interpretation. And similar to the game itself, it makes you feel like the world is just so alive. GTA 5 fans may say that there's a huge lack of elements in the trailer. For instance, there's really not much of Franklin shown, and then also there's not a big sign of what the general story is. First of all, in the game, Franklin represents everything that the players go through. As you see the world, you basically see it through Franklin's eyes. In fact, you literally get to decide the ending of the game through Franklin. The fate of Michael and Trevor is up to him, and he's the sole bringer of the conclusion and the future of the story. So in my opinion, because of that, it's all fine that he's left out of the trailer. Because as the player, once we play the game, we're basically going to be seeing things from his side of the story. Oh, and for the main story, other than vehicular mayhem and satirical takes on West Coast culture, the story is very much so a clash of these few cultures shown. The rich and the poor, the past and the future, and of course the fake Michael versus the earnestly real Trevor. In terms of everything in the main game, I feel like everything is shown, so I don't really feel like there's a problem that not much of the story is covered. Finally, I just want to say that this trailer is absolutely awesome, it's cool to watch, and most importantly, it makes me want to boot up GTA 5 and re-experience it all over again. Everything about the trailer, from the dude saying,
Grand Theft Auto 5. Coming November 18th on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
to just the overall way it was put together makes it feel like such a game trailer, and I love it so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant on how this is one of the best game trailers ever created. If you have any recommendations for trailers you want me to check out and maybe even cover on this channel, put them in the description. This is probably the end of the video, so thank you guys all for watching once again. As I mentioned at the very start, I have many scripts and ideas in my head that I'm trying to pan out, and the point of this video is to, again, just let you guys know that I'm alive and to just put something of me out there. Hopefully the next video won't take too much longer to make, but I don't exactly know what my schedule is going to be like, so it might be a bit messy. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. Telephone.